Good morning, children. This is A. Manoj Kumar, working in Oxford High School, Uppugunduru. Welcome to social class. We have been discussing about forest. Last class, what I told you, what I explained you, classification of forests. We have been discussing about classification of forest. First classification is evergreen forest. Second classification is deciduous forest. Third classification is littoral forest. Okay, na? Then fourth classification is thorny forest. Already regarding evergreen forest, I told you. We are not able to see evergreen forest in Andhra Pradesh. In Kerala and Andaman Nicobar Islands, we are able to see which kind of forest? Evergreen forest. Especially, we can find such kind of forest in equatorial regions. Because, so rain is falling heavily, warm conditions are prevalent, where these two types of conditions satisfies in that regions, generally evergreen forest will grow. I think everybody understood regarding evergreen forest. Okay, na? In Himalayas, those forests are called as coniferous forests because, okay, these trees produces cones, so that those called as coniferous trees. Okay, na? Which trees? Pine trees. So next one, deciduous forest. Okay, you tell me generally what is a deciduous forest. In Andhra Pradesh, we can see everywhere in the deciduous forest. So where we can find the deciduous forest? Tell me. Where, especially which areas receives rainfall in some months, and most of the remaining months very little rainfall. In those areas we can find deciduous forests. Once again I will tell you, only few months rains will fall in some areas, and the remaining months these areas are dry, there is no rainfall. In such areas we can find the deciduous forest. Especially the trees which are growing in that regions shed their leaves. Why, sir? Why the trees are shedding their leaves? You know very well. Generally, this tree evaporates water from the leaves, isn't it or not? So that if that tree bear the leaves, then automatically it consumes more water. Okay, now? So that these trees are shedding the leaves in dry months. Whenever onset of the rainy season, again these trees bear the leaves. Okay, na? So see what in your textbook given, deciduous forests. These grow in regions where it rains in only some months. Just now I told you, and is warm and dry during the most of the year. These places having dry and warm most of the year, only few months rains falls. Water evaporates through the leaves and the trees try to conserve moisture by getting rid of leaves during the dry months. Just now I told you, especially in these regions, trees shed their leaves in dry months. Okay, new leaves come forth onset of the rains. Most of the forests of Andhra Pradesh fall in this category. Remember this one. So, in the examination point of view, generally he is asking. So, he will give the classification. Okay, now ABCD options. In Andhra Pradesh, forest comes under this classification. Evergreen forest, then a deciduous forest, then a littoral forest, then a thorny forest. Yes, deciduous forest. Okay, again these deciduous forests are categorized into two types, classified into two types. Ones which receive more rainfall, okay, now that is one classification. Ones which receive less rainfall, that is the second classification. Okay, now so more rainfall in some regions, especially in deciduous forest area, in some areas receive more rains. So here, which kind of trees grows? Vegi, Agisa, Maddi, Bandaru, Gittegi. Okay, now these kind of trees generally we can see. Such forests are found in Srikakulam, Vishakhapatnam. VSKP means Vishakhapatnam, and East Godavari agency area. Okay, now where we can find such kind of forest. Okay, now deciduous forest with having heavy rainfall. Okay, now which receives heavy rainfall. So these areas contains which kind of trees? Vegi, Agisar, Maddi, Bandaru, Gittegi, such kind of trees we can see. In Andhra Pradesh, Srikakulam and Vishakhapatnam districts contains such kind of trees, and East Godavari agency area also contains such kind of trees. Up to here everybody clear, I think so. Okay na? Then less rainfall category. Here which kind of trees grow? Maddi, Teku, Velaga, Agise, Epi, Chiguru, Billu, Neem, Birisina, Boraga and Moduga. So such kind of trees grow in less rainfall areas. Okay, now here we are discussing about deciduous forest. So deciduous forests again classified into two. High rainfall, which areas receives high rainfall, in that areas one kind of trees grow. Then which areas receive less rainfall, there another kind of trees grow. Okay, now high rainfall areas, Vegi, Agisa, Maddi, Bandaru, Gittegi, such okay, now trees grow. Then East Godavari agency area, then Srikakulam, Vishakhapatnam, we can find such kind of trees. Then less rainfall areas, Maddi, Teku, Velaga, Agise, Epi, Chiguru, Billu, Neem, Dirsena, Boraga and Moduga, such kind of trees will grow. Where we can observe such kind of trees? YSR Kadapa, Kurnool districts, we can see such kind of plants, trees. Okay, now then next classification, thorny forest. Okay, now next classification is thorny forest. So yourself, you understand, you recollect where we can find thorny forest. Okay, now you think where we can see thorny forest, where very less rainfall occurs, falls. Okay, in that areas we can see thorny forest. These grow in very dry areas with a little rainfall. So in Andhra Pradesh, where there is a possibility to grow such kind of forest? Yes, Rayalaseema, isn't it or not? Then these grow in very dry areas with little rainfall and high temperatures. So in those areas we can see thorny forest. Most of the trees are thorny. Okay, now here which kind of trees grow? Thorny trees grow. The common trees are babul, that means tumma. In our areas also we are able to see tumma trees. So babul, so balasu, regu, sandal, neem. These kind of trees grow in thorny forest area. Okay, now so they are located in YSR Kadapa, Chitturu, Anantapur and Nalgonda district. So YSR Kadapa, Chitturu, Anantapur. These are all Rayalaseema areas. Okay, these are the districts with very little rainfall, isn't it or not? Okay, in Rayalaseema areas receiving very low rainfall. So especially we can observe nearly desert conditions here. So where nearly desert conditions, in such areas, which kind of plantation we are able to observe? Then thorny forest we can observe. Okay, na? So next one is littoral forests. Littoral means sea coast. Which trees grow near to the sea coast? Those forests comes under this, falls under this category. These littoral sea coast forests also called as swamp forests. Which forest? Swamp forest. Remember that one. So next one. These grow mostly in the sea coastal areas or sandy beaches areas. On marshy land areas we can observe such kind of forests. So here trees adapting. So in one kind of, okay, now one kind of adoption it will take. Trees will take. Which kind of adoption these trees will adopt? So generally here waters are very salty. Okay, even though in such conditions these trees are growing. You know, if you go sea area, waves will come. Is it tides will come? Isn't it or not? Rising and falling of waves we are able to observe in sea coast. See, trees are adapted to salt waters and the flow of tidal waves will come and go, rise and fall. So by that conditions, okay now by such conditions adapting these trees and growing heavily. Isn't it or not? That means finally what we can say, even though here water is salty, trees grow and so making the forest. Isn't it or not? These are also called as mangrove forests. The trees which are near to the sea coast, these trees are called as mangrove forest. If you go to the Kakinada, we are able to observe the mangrove forest. Isn't it or not? Okay now. So these are also called as mangrove forests. These trees have developed some unique features to survive in difficult environment. Isn't it or not? So that is a difficult environment. Totally water is salty. But even though in critical situations, making them okay now useful those conditions, these trees and growing. Isn't it or not? Okay now. Salt waters also these trees taking and growing. Okay. Then we can observe which kind of vegetation here. Uppu ponna, boddu ponna, uroda, mada, tella mada, gundu mada, kadili and bella are some of the typical vegetation we are able to observe in littoral forest area. Up to now, what we discussed about classification of forest. Examination point of view, very important. Once again, I am saying regarding evergreen forest, two times I explained you. Then through next one deciduous forest. In Andhra Pradesh, most of the forests comes under deciduous forest category. Again, these deciduous forests divided into classified into two parts. Heavy rainfall areas, one kind of trees grow. Then less rainfall area, another kind of trees grow. Okay, heavy rainfall area, which kind of trees grow? Tell me. So, Vegi, Agisa, Maddi, Bandaru, Gittegi. Less rainfall area, then Maddi, Teku, Velaga, Agisa, Epi, Chiguru, these kind of trees grow. Next one, thorny forest. Okay, where very less little that means less rainfall okay receiving the areas there thorny forest we can observe, especially deserted conditions where we can observe in that areas we can able to see thorny forests. Okay na, isn't it or not? So here temperatures also very high. So YSR, Kadapa, Chitturu, Anantapur and Nalgonda districts we are able to observe Babul, Balusu, Regu, Sandal, Neem, such kind of forests are existed. Isn't it or not? Next one, littoral forest. Finally, littoral forests are growing near to the sea. Here, trees are adapting salt waters, taking salt water and growing well. So these forests also called as mangrove forest. In Andhra Pradesh, in Kakinada, okay, in the sea coastal areas, in some areas we are able to see these mangrove forest. Once again, I am saying these classification note down in your notebook and twice or thrice you go through. Okay, examination point of view. Okay, this question is very important. Okay, do another thing. Take Andhra Pradesh map. Then in Rayalaseema, you keenly observe Rayalaseema area and coastal Andhra Pradesh. Then okay now northeast parts of Andhra Pradesh. Everything observe where these forests are existed. Then note down in that map. By that time you are able to observe which kind of forests existed in which areas in Andhra Pradesh. We are able to okay now see. So we are able to remember that forever, isn't it or not? Through the map. Okay, thank you.